2011, we're taking up Chapter 2 quiz answers. Work on those blue page notebooks. Those pages in your blue notebook if you already know this. So the very first question, thank you, Jeffrey. Very first question says, triangle ABC has these three vertices. So we have triangle ABC. The vertices are at A, 4, 5, B, -1, 2, and C, 5, 1. It says to classify the triangle as equilateral, isosceles, or scalene, use side length. So there's a hint in that. It's telling you side length. There are a couple ways we could solve this. I could graph this all. That would take me quite a long time to do. The quickest way to do this is our distance formula. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to label each side of the triangle. We have an A, a B, and a C, which means I have three different lines. I'm going to call this one AB, so line segment AB, line segment BC, and line segment AC. For all three of those, we're going to be using the exact same formula. We're using the distance formula. So I'm just going to write it large underneath all of them so I don't have to write it 3 times. D is equal to the root of x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. Okay? So this is the formula we're going to use for line AB, for line BC, and line AC. I wrote it large just so I didn't have to repeat it. For our first AB, like I said before, it helps if we organize our coordinates. So I know the first one's AB. I'm going to write A's coordinates right here and B's coordinates right here. -1 and 2. I'll call this our 1 and 2 so that this is x1, y1, x2, y2. And then we'll go to plug it into the formula. So this is for line segment AB. Scroll up a little. We have our formula is equal to. Now we go to plug these in. We have our x2. This is the first number we got to get a coordinate for. It's -1. So -1 subtract our x1, which is 4, squared. Place it in there. Next coordinate we're looking for is y2, which is 2. Subtract, we're looking for y1, which is 5, squared. From here on in, guys, it's just carrying out bed mass. The root of -1 minus 4 is -5, plus 2 minus 3 is -3, squared. T equals -5 times -5 is 25, plus 9. D equals the root of 34. Okay? Root of 34. I could continue going with that. In fact, I know for our next question I'll need to know that distance. So root of 34 is 5.83. So that's just for line segment AB. I've only solved one of the lines. Okay? Next one I'm going to work with is BC. So I'm going to go down a little. Line segment BC. Once again, I'm going to write the coordinates close, so it's very easy to plug them in. B is -1, 2, 5, 1. -1, 2. And what was the other one? 5, 1. 5, 1. Okay, so we have our coordinates as B and C. Same idea. Let's call this 1. Let's call this 2. So that's our x1, y1, x2, y2. We have that all down. I know this is redundant if I rewrite the formula, but like I said, the most confusing part of any of these formulas is just plugging the numbers in the right spots. So I'm going to rewrite the formula just so it's here and we don't have to continue scrolling up the board. So, very first coordinate I need is my x2, is 5. Subtract x1, negative 1, plus y2 is 1, minus y1 is 2, squared, is equals 5, subtract negative 1 is 6, squared. 1 minus 2 is negative 1 squared. This becomes 36 plus 1 becomes the root of 37. Already I know because I had a different root before, root of 34 and root of 37. Two sides are different. So that already gets rid of equilateral triangle. I know it can't be an equilateral triangle. What is the root of 37? 6.08. So that is the actual distance of line segment BC. That's part of it. And finally, we have to do line segment AC.
Do you want me to just read it out?
Yes, could you? What is A?
A is 4 and 5.
4 and 5.
B is 5 and 1.
5 and 1. Perfect.
Just read out what would be.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's the exact same pattern. In the end, what's the line segment end up being?
So D equals, it's the very end?
Yeah, very end.
Okay, so D equals 4.123.
Well, give me the root first. Root
17.
Root 17 is your answer. And what is it? 4.123. So it's the same steps as before, guys. We just skipped them because I've already repeated it twice. That would have been our answer in the end. So let's kind of recap here. We had AB, which was 5.83.
5.83. And then BC.
We had BC,
which was 6.08.
6.08.
And then AC was that one, 4.123.
4.123. Wonderful. So, looking at the lengths of all these line segments of the triangle, none of them are equal. We have scalene triangle. Okay. Isosceles is when two of the sides are equal. Equilateral is when all three are equal. Okay? So, none of the sides equal, we have a scalene triangle. The reason we equated these, technically we could have figured this out by just looking at the roots. We had root 17, root 34. Let's view the solid. Yeah, we had root 34, root 37, and root 17. So right there I could have tell. But the next question asks for the perimeter of the triangle. If you guys miscalculated in here, as long as you used the proper numbers, so say you miscalculated and you thought line BC was 10. If you added 10 plus 5.83 plus 4.123, I still gave you the answer. Okay, sorry, I still gave you the mark, sorry. So as long as you knew that you had to add all the sides together, I was just asking for perimeter. So if you made a mistake in the first question, I didn't deduct it in the next one. Okay? But this, let's actually take up the next one. We have our perimeters here. We have so perimeter is all the sides equal to each other, added to each other. AC plus AB plus CB. Those are all three sides of our triangle. Want to help me out one more time, Quentin?
5.83.
5.83.
Plus 412.
412.
And 3.
Doesn't matter.
Plus 6. Plus 6.08.
08. It all becomes 16. 03.
Yep.
Perfect. That was the perimeter of our triangle. That was for question B on the quiz. Question B is pretty straightforward. I needed you guys to know how to do perimeter, though. It's important. Perimeter, area, those things you already should know from last year. Recap them if you don't remember, okay? So we got the first two questions. What do we got for time? We'll keep going. Okay. And we'll do question 2. Question 2 says, determine the equation of a circle with a center, 0, 0, and a radius of 6. Thank you. Sorry, radius of 8. So, our equation of a circle, we should start with x squared plus y squared equals r squared. R stands for the radius. Okay? We know that the center of the circle is at 0, 0, so we know this is going to be the equation of our circle. The circle has to have the center at 0, 0 in order for this to be the equation. Okay, guys? Luckily, I'm not going to give you any other types of circles. So we have x squared plus y squared equals r2 squared, radius squared. Question tells us that our radius is equal to 8. And they want the equation of that circle. This is a simple substitution question. They want you to substitute the value of 8 in for the r. Okay? X squared plus y squared is equal to 8 squared. Only one of you left it like this. Didn't give you the mark. It's really only one more step to get to the equation of the circle. X squared plus y squared, 64. That is the equation of our circle. It's a straight substitution question. Okay, guys?
So you're always going to give us a radius of 0, 0?
Okay. That's both pages. I'm going to just slowly scroll down so that you can see this. Okay? Those are your final answers.